Turn to M3 and Karen B for this week's episode of Comply on the Fly. You'll get quick and timely answers to the most common compliance questions so you and your business can keep moving ahead. Please note this podcast and the contents herein do not constitute legal advice. Please seek the advice of counsel for any benefit compliance related implementation guidance or strategy.
Hello, everyone. I'm Karen B. And the Comply on the Fly question of the week is, how and when do I need to file Form 5500s for my welfare benefit plans? In order to answer this question, we will need to go back to some basic ERISA information. ERISA, which stands for the Employee Retirement Income Security Act, governs not only retirement plans, but also welfare benefit plans, which would typically include medical, dental, vision, life, disability benefits, and potentially other types of employee benefit plans. ERISA applies to private sector employers of any size, but does not apply to governmental entities, so think cities, counties, school districts, and church plans. So if ERISA does not apply to you, the requirements of ERISA, such as SPDs and 5500 filings, would not apply to you either. I just mentioned SPDs, which stands for Summary Plan Descriptions. We discussed SPDs in a previous episode, but just understand that they are required and will dictate how 5500s are filed. If you have an SPD for each of your welfare benefit plans, say one for medical, one for dental, and one for ancillary lines, then you will have potentially 3 required 5500 filings. The SPDs will include the plan number, which starts with a 5, so for instance 501, and the plan year, which will help you to set up those filings. However, it is important to note here that welfare benefit plan 5500 filings differ from retirement plan 5500 filings in that welfare benefit plan filings are triggered once there are 100 participants on the plan on the first day of the plan year. And participants means employees, not total covered lives. So you must keep an eye on participant counts on the first day of the plan year. If you have separate SPDs for your welfare benefit plans, then you only file for any plan that is over 100 participants. If you wrap all welfare benefit plans into one single ERISA plan, then any plan included in that mega wrap plan will trigger a filing that will include all lines of coverage, even if those lines of coverage have less than participants. So when are these filings due? They are due 7 months after the ERISA plan year ends. If you have a January 1 through December 31 ERISA plan year, then your filings are due by July 31st of the following year. If you do not file when required, you are subject to penalties of $50 per day, but this can be increased by the DOL up to $2,233 per day. If you catch the problem before the DOL, you can file under the Voluntary Compliance Program, and penalties are capped at $2,000 per plan year per plan. The maximum penalty is $4,000 per plan. Your ERISA SPDs and the required 5500s are an important part of your ERISA compliance. If you need assistance with either or both, please contact M3. And that is your Comply on the Fly question of the week. Thanks for tuning in.
What's on your mind? If you have a pressing compliance question, send it to askkarenb@m3ins.com. We'll do our best to cover it in an upcoming episode. You can now follow and subscribe to Comply on the Fly on Spotify, iTunes, and Google Podcasts. Make sure to tune in next week and encourage others to join us.